Tangge doje jaje son ro jinja mata doja pongjamba zerja lumba davar jebega shaje jabe jabdong jon zor dorjan janjan delo naroda mabamala chuje gamboba Pamoja ba javan rugong ba gajola mananje da jonje Dana zera damje da lama laba la ye jisa zong Lo zong yon den jamze nga la wan den zhe don jen zhe be ge le zo Da ge lo ji zong zhe war xin jia lab de zo Qu lam den zhe war xin jia lab de zo Lan chu wa xie war xin jia lab de zo 这把一些三家把人心家老多说，刚个等见这玩意就我把没把钱没把，钱把没把大没把我没把着没把到的都没等见没，只把你谢谢等把，做把三节嘛难节。当把的拉香在的，真正在外拉马姐姐和son都接心浪的的，那个就浪别的，那个等把当心姐姐东家见帮着把人心姐老的说。等je Gampopa ke lam chorin chin chungwa shubo kapsuri tini ta tering te tunsi tangbu nang ke jupa te rindo te tini rinpe hyuyai
Today, picking up with these teachings from Gampopa, which comprise the precious garland of the Supreme Path. In the first category, we are on number 10. So we will begin with the 10th verse in the first category.
Na yumbu langzo tarwa gosun te tamar tanyum ngandul yad pang songre. Te kapsu ta ngaranzo yumbu langzo tar tarwa kap shidu tane lula natsa la soba shirami bakap tene wangbo hirab la soba zhongwo kap tene zhongzhi la soba be zhong nangwa yina tene naya ke per na zubu chani nuba yubu kap awo ta tenda chigla tene ta ngarang so ke che chugewa ndo che madrup tenda chene namyang tang tani tanda kengal khorsunga ina tani hachang pongpore songre
So the 10th verse says to close the three gates, body, speech, and mind, in the practice of Dharma by indulging oneself in luxurious material life during the full youth is also a tremendous loss to this rare human life. So what is being said here is that when, what is meant by the full, during full youth, or when one is youthful, is that when during the time that one is still, relatively young, and is not experiencing problems of physical illness and so forth, one is relatively healthy, the body is strong, and the faculties are clear, And so this is in a good period in one's life in which to cultivate the property or qualities of wisdom and so forth. Likewise, it is when one is strong and young, then one is more capable of, there's more power in the body, and one is more capable of really exerting oneself with diligence. And so instead during this period, to ignore, neglect the Dharma and virtuous practice or endeavors, and instead to always fall into distraction, to procrastinate and entertain oneself with distracting amusements and so on, is a great loss indeed.
Nala yumbul lanso tarbaka so namiksa songgoya ke jumsin kangri hubayna ta nga so ke je lo chung chung yi tanda ka samno te yore teni tela tin te ta o che namyeng la so ba mangbo che la perna che ta che zemondra manda che anda otang tela soba ke chi kantar tambe chudang mentun ba ke jawa tanda mambo chegla ranjing ke tronang yo deba tanda yong yore tela tin de yang chi ngarang chu la ya tela za chimbo zema ta ba dang teni jumchin yinda de Tinha ngarang tsok nyamnyong do hira masa kakhan do hira manyong ba yinzang yang che dungar to so ngo ma hi pe jimsin na tin te teni yang ngarang tsok tambal la chu drubya de teni tsende da jewa chima tamje la phim ba ke ta mi na yin ba de ha ko ka le khabo yore the so jumsin la tin de ta tarangarang gabs yumpa lanso tarbaka song na mixar yumba tamnya la dangoya teres.
So the other reason why there's this emphasis here on, during the period of one's youth, or when one is youthful, is because, when one is young, then it tends to be that one is more susceptible to distraction and diversions, and also one thinks that one has all the time in the world, and so it tends to be in one's youth that one is interested in playing games and entertaining oneself in all sorts of ways, and also there are times when one has a facility for liking activities that are actually, contradictory or that are not compatible with the Dharma. And so one has kind of more of a tendency or facility to get involved in sort of bad habits or diversions that are actually non-virtuous in nature. And because, and also it is more during that time period, it's more difficult to really regard the Dharma with a real sense of understanding just how precious it is. And a lot of this is also because when one is young, one just hasn't had very much life experience yet. One hasn't endured much suffering. And so therefore, there's kind of a failure to really recognize that the Dharma is like medicine that then benefits oneself in this life and benefits oneself in future lives. And so it is more difficult to really understand the Dharma as such when one is so young.
Tangaranzo Matapayin Bungoni, Matapayin Bichane, the ne Gameba the Yumba, so Jitin Dene, Jawasamalan Ronga, Tengatsu Sujigalap Tokayomare. Yumba yang, Nina Donki Yori, Gimba yang, Nina Donki Yori. Tenengaranzo La Tsova. Kamsong ko andal yun zon de chowa dunga yo ba deang lo yumba dang gimba chepar yo mare chamala dunga sum jiran yin cha de yore ane le jumde chani yana le jumde la bya te ha jang zhang hin zhang bo chu yumbo ri sen le jumde ke churang la mixa tang ya dang Chu Gangeris in the legend of Mixan Chepa ya Tanrache Yomare. Churang legend de Yapo Mason Baina. Churang Lo Jumba, Zung Ziba, Kanda in the Yang, then the legend deke, then Churang Mixa Tangamare. Then the Jumsin Te Sumborang, Tonasam Tamba in the Yang, Tang around soke. Lo yumbo en senechi dikpa doyalo popasi ala jumsin kayang mi pare.
And so because of the truth of permanence, actually we know that these designations of young and old are actually arbitrary. Because there is no rule that says that somebody who is older who will die first and somebody who is younger will die later. This is most definitely, there is no certainty to that. And so it could be the case that the young person dies first. It could be the case that the old person dies later. There is no certainty with regard to at what age death will strike. And likewise, there's no distinction or there's no difference with regard to the suffering of the three realms of samsara. Whether one is young or old, both the nature of the three types of suffering or the suffering of the three realms pervade all beings. And so there's no difference with regard to that. Likewise, there's no difference with regard to the functioning or law of karma, cause, and effect. Karma doesn't work differently for people who are younger than it does for people who are older. Both are at the mercy of karma, cause, and effect. Karma doesn't have any regard for whether someone is youthful and strong with an attractive and powerful form. This doesn't make any difference when it comes to the unfolding of karma, cause, and effect. And so for these reasons, there's really no reason for a young person to have kind of an arrogant kind of pride or confidence that it's just fine for them to engage in negativity or to delight in wrongdoing.
Tani sosola, tani kangan te dungar nyong, tenda yungpakapso, tani nga soke le jumde la nyingje mendo sene lapsa chiang yo mari. Jumsin kangri shubayina ngaran choke le kang sa yabayina yang ndrebete mi yung yori. Tani le masa bayina le ngimpa masa bayina ndrebe dongar nyung mari. Dewe na le maje patang mate songri. Teni leng in ba ji sa yabaina, luj goni leng in ba sabaina ri, ngag goni leng in ba sabaina ri, yiji goni leng in ba sabaina ri, teni le sa yabate, teni chu mizabas, kandar, teni drev tesola, shakpa yaboji jene, taswaina logari madoke, teni drev sosoke, mechen nana mi yung yore. Te mi yung ba te tunda soso ranrange o tena ke lejik sa yabala tine ta tan drevet mi yung yo ba indu kantar soso ke leng impa sa ba tin drevet soso la mi yung yo ba hakor chene ta tata ni ngarang choke le zampo sa ya ke tene go cho go yori lo chung chung lo yung bo in tene popa tata je gosak nga he yore de yang tata tingal popa je goya ji je na pinto mi ba tanda cha de yore tanda insang ngarang so ke ta lunga ke lunga isang kang go ni na yang kang thap thap ke gewa drop go yo paris.
And so there's no certainty with regard to, whenever one, at any point in time during one's life, one can experience the suffering of hardship and difficulty. And so one isn't to think, karma, cause and effect are so unfair, or they have no compassion. So it isn't like that. Karma, cause and effect, just functions as it does. It's just a natural law that whatever it is that we create, whatever causes we create, then result in the corresponding ripening. And so we accumulate our own karma, and our own karma is the karma that ripens according to that natural law. If the karma is not created, then there's not a result. If one creates the causes, there is a result. And so if there are no negative causes created, then the fruition of suffering is not experienced. And that is just how it works, according to the natural law. And so whether if we accumulate negative deeds with the body, we will experience the ripening of that result. If we accumulate negative deeds with the speech, we will experience the ripening of that result. If we accumulate negative deeds with the mind, we will experience the ripening of that result, or the resultant ripening of those causes. And we have no choice but to experience the ripening of our karma unless it is purified through confession and purification. Other than that, then there's no choice but to experience the ripening of the karmic causes that have been created by oneself. And so for this reason, if one really understands this, if one really understands the workings or law of karma, cause and effect, then we understand just how important it is to completely dedicate ourselves to creating positive causes, to accumulating wholesome karma or positive karma. And especially as one is young, when one is young, this is a particularly important time to begin such a habit. So to whatever degree that one, as much as one can, to always be mindful to direct the three doors of body, speech, and mind in the practice of virtue is so important.
Ta lemde la yundu penson chung je khuba ina chirang gonda ni yabo ma ko ba ina tele tu ba ke khopa chirang ke simkan ta nawa tambo mi dewa ontna yong do te ndu gonda ni yabo ma ko ba te jure tene khoba simkan tambo mi ba te ndevri sonza ko lwa mi ba rin do tene chirang gonda ni yabo ko sungwa ina tele tin khoba simkan tambo cha ba te tene ni yabo ko ba te jure simkan tambo cha de wa te ndevri te chirang ke mtsen data ke mtsen na ngu su nyong de wa yong ngarang su mtsen na ngu su yong de yo ba ke der wa o tela so ba ke le jimde la ndu ngarang so ke hye ya de nan chu na ni hye ke yo le jimde la ya de ina le jimde la ya de nan chu ke che drum bi che ta nan chu ke cha hye tang je ri tanda chu ni tin ya yo ma re le jimde la ya de ngarang so ke lu nga yi som dang ka char mi chi bu chur de yo re te yo ba ite ngarang zo ha go go re yin yang nan chu na ni te ngo zhu yong go re ngo zhu na yong go re o che par te yo re ma to ke nan chu ke ngo ma te na le jum de te ni le jum de la ya te mi de ba no tang nan chu ke ngo te en de yin ne te ni le jum de te yo yong ba den da za ba ni ne ma re te ne le jum de se wa te churang roa right to gang du chi na yang tene le jumde te linjik do yore perna ngarang cho zupo ke tmando wa zupo ke tmate churang kawa china yore ta na churang chukang tang sanju na churang jipo roba ina ya dolo chama pa bu de churang da sanju na chimba ina ya darong churang zupo tmate yore di na yin ke le jumde la ya te tene tu da na pa kun do ngarang cho le yore ngarang chlin de yobare ta le jumde yoba chamje dukcha mari le jumde yaga to so yona ngarang cho le go ko yore pink yore tene le jumde duga to so ngarang cho le go ko yo mari te so pink yo mari nu ko yore yin yang te ngarang cho le pimp le jumde de go dam me pimp le jumde de go te so so rang ke lakpa so so rang ke jitang samdang ke cha hye tang ti to ne yong ko yore tene den de legend de la ya de la ngaran so ke ha chang ke zap zap chi go at kar chim ba cha de yore
So to give you a small example of just how natural the law of cause and effect is, when, for instance, if we don't sleep well at night, then when we wake up the next morning, we're a little bit groggy, or our mental state is not so clear. And so this is a direct cause of the not having slept well at night. So because the not sleeping well at night is the cause, and then the result is not having not being very clear, or not feeling well the next day. On the other hand, if we sleep well at night, then when we wake up in the morning, we feel kind of bright, clear, and well. There's a sense of well-being, and so that is the result of having slept well at night. And so it's as simple and as natural as that. And so even though we speak of karma, cause, and effect as a Buddhist principle, but actually it's just a natural principle. It's just the natural way that things are. The karma, cause, and effect functions whether one is a Buddhist or not. It's just that in the Buddhist tradition, this natural law is stated, or it's pointed out. But it isn't as though, if one is a Buddhist, one is karma exists, or one is susceptible to the law of karma, and if one is not a Buddhist, then it doesn't, or one is not susceptible. No matter what one's situations or beliefs, no matter where one has taken birth within the 6 classes of sentient beings, reality functions according to the relative law of karma, cause and effect, or karmic interdependence. It's just like the way that, like one's body having a smell. So did Jima Songyorowa did smell?
Shadow, Maria, shadow.
Smell? Oh, shadow. Okay. All right. I thought maybe shadow. I heard before. I thought you said smell. So it's like the body, the shadow of the body. Wherever one goes, there's always a shadow. So whether one, is in the tini kapar dona yang shadow the dema yore tini kandin samsam.
Tini tukang sanjul ndo dia de ngazo tolo chama papi yana ya daron zupo de dema dendoga nyamdala.
So even if one goes into the bathroom and takes off all of one's clothes, still there's a shadow. The body still has a shadow. No matter where one is, one can never separate the body from its shadow. The body and the shadow come together. And so this is the same way in which karmic causes and their dormant fruition are like that. So wherever we go, then karma follows, and this is just as natural as a shadow following the body. And so understanding that, then it is so crucial that we make sure to create only the causes that are going to ripen as favorable conditions, and to not create the causes that aren't of any benefit, that will only result in harm, that which is harmful. And so whether we choose to, or whether we create the causes that have benefit and ripen in such a way as being beneficial, or whether, and if we abandon, whether we abandon those which are non-beneficial and only result in ways that are harmful, then this is in our own hands, or it's really up to us. We have the power to choose. And so for that reason, it's so important to be cautious, to be careful, to create those favorable causes.
Samjang acho pena pama choge ngacho la churang so tutin zabzab ji labde teni ninke yomari samsam mani de teni jima na yong yore na yong de teni ta mingkang la mandro randro chakdo teni mingkang la suche ga yin tro yin don ro yo marwa ti na yin ke ngarang cho tata teni namba sanji bu chu lama gewi shini tamje ke ta lejum de yabo songri labdu teni samsanga so ke yabo tela nyinke yo mare teni jine donga nyongde teni nga donga te seroji parche te seroji te ngal kangan do je te ma hiran hi chagarwa ho te de chibar.
So, for instance, sometimes we, even if we hear or receive instruction about, how necessary it is to take precautionary measures to protect our health, for instance, So we may have heard a lot about, what we need to do to stay healthy, but sometimes people don't listen to that advice. So they don't listen, and then they end up with a health condition, and they have to go to the doctor. And that's the natural result of not taking of not being cautious and not heeding the advice that was given. And so likewise, when it comes to the working of karma, cause and effect, as it is taught by the Buddha, then sometimes we hear all of these teachings. We hear advice from our spiritual teachers on what to do and how to practice, but sometimes we don't listen. And then we enter, where we have a lot of suffering. So then we go to the teacher and we say, please help me, please pray for me, please grant me your blessings, please clear away my obstacles. And so this is similar.
다 오나 다 ngaran soge yumba ka lancho te lancho tarbu ka jeta lunga i som ge go som de tamar tanyo ngane manjo ne teni kare nang go yor hibaina ta namba sanje be ke tara chula tu sam gom som sin jawa som yori ta tel bezun ang go yoris.
And so, if for those who are in kind of the blossoming stages of youth, when they give up, in order to avoid the negative results, when they don't fall into under the influence of distraction and procrastination, then the way to really apply oneself in the practice of Buddha Dharma is through the three actions, or the three practices of hearing or study, contemplation, and meditation.
다 투 히바데 ngaran soke chude 같이 투바 이나양 피용 삼제 마차바 요바리 데니 투바 티목 문서 루메인 som바레 디난동 가레 숭거요리 히바이나 ngaran so chu 투바 데네 ngaran so 심주게 마렉바데 servala Rume na yiris, rume ke mumba senrondoa. Di na yi tuba deke ngaran su juke marikba de seke yoris. Deni gumbo, da gumbo la so mechir norjin chosun ko yori. Di nandung karir shubaina. Ngaran su chu tu yaba de, tuba de, da nor pamjon rawa jina, di nang chodu jirba de chad yori. Gain sina kumala soba sujeke kotogo yomaris. Yinda ngaran soge serdang ngordang pekhala soba yena yang samsang kumak korshok yorin samsang da cho mangbo ne cholan rowa mangbo yongga yorela yongsiba jinge ngoboji chada yobare. Yene chu tu yabade sujeke kotogo yomarin chotogo yomare. Tenda yinzang da chutuba de la yundin samje machapa yobari sonre.
So when it comes to the training of or the activity of listening or study, the qualities or benefit of accumulating or of practicing the activity of listening or studying are really extraordinarily vast. So it is said that listening, the activity of listening or studying is like a bright lamp that clears away the darkness of ignorance. And so this, by hearing or listening, studying the Dharma teachings, then gradually the darkness of ignorance is cleared away by this brilliant light of wisdom and knowledge. For likewise, it is said for a practitioner who really engages in the activity of study or practice, or study or listening, then this becomes like a great accumulation of that is like the greatest of jewels that cannot be taken or stolen by anyone. And so, for instance, other riches or precious substances such as gold and silver, if one accumulates these, then they can be stolen or they can be lost. And yet when it comes to the accumulation or what is built up through the activity of study, this can never be lost. It can never be lost. It can never be stolen.
Gypsy Malare Bake, Tesumbare. Dewa Gongtang made the J Song Tinandung Karere Hubaina, Kong Chungsa de Gongtang Rapsa Sajatela Chongwaris. Then to some de Wuzang Dulanawa in Sonre. Wuzang the Saja Yimba Della. Then it Tinchin Lama gave him something, then it conquer to some now in son Malarebaka to Nason Yore.
So Dampo Lungten de Koma Song Gongtang.
Dewa Gongtang made J the Nandun de Kong get the Kong Jesa de Gongtang Labsat and a Jin Lab Sonre.
So Tewa Gungtang Yin, Dini Shimba?
Then to some de Yaga de Wuzang Zonaya Satesia Gontang loves such a thing Wuzang La Tat des Andron Gorel Tarimbo. Then Wuzang Dula says.
So, for instance, Milarepa said that, as he said, I was born I am coming from sort of the land of Guntang. So, having been born in Guntang, I gathered the study and the activities, or I engaged in the activities of study and contemplation in Utsang. And so then Dini Lama gave Shinin
Jotam Ding, sorry, gave him Jotam.
Chutam.
10.
Pretend de Lord Chu.
Mare, Lama give him the 10 more spiritual teachers.
They may be Yabokoma.
Kong Lama gave him Latin, Le Manwa Latin by in sorry. Kinds of Kong Chu to some Gomson Nanroa.
And so I don't fully get it, but he said, and having done so, I adhered to more than 10 spiritual teachers through the practice of study, contemplation, and meditation.
Tegana yinke tani dara je zonga bagi tani tesonre tani dambo da ngarang tuba ja chimbo nango gri sonre tuba ja chimbo tani perna namba sanje ba boju namba tabla chanchomba ina yang saja gelo nima kaju tandala ne 다 주주 망보 요래 대다 리서 마치반 되니 주 투바 난거 요래 담보 자친 투바 망트 짤 손드 대송 거 요래.
Okay. And likewise, Jetsongkhapa said that first it is absolutely necessary to engage in extensive study or listening. And this is the case for all traditions of those who follow the Buddha Dharma. So whether one in all of the four great lineages, Sakya, Gelug, Kagyu, and Nyingma, first it is necessary, regardless of which tradition one follows or practices, to spend an extensive period of time gathering knowledge or understanding through the activity of listening or study.
Tene kongesonde part yongluk tamche dampar khar sonre teke nandon karere hubaina ta lama gevshini mambon dene chu tu yaba yongluk na menga tamche ta susu dangwa la khar go yore sonre ona dangwa la khar go na kanda khar go yore hubaina tene chu tamche soso ranju ke tene nyomomba toksom ta tonga la soba ke tene ngaransola nyomomba danzi marek ba mangbo yoba teda ke nyimbo yemba la rantu go yorisi pena chorang minje sawaena te chorang chapa na yona chapa mi chorang go na yona go mi je yorwa ti na yinke o den go mi ri den chapa mi ri then karma ndaw tan tso ke mi ri sa ya so so ha ko o te ta ben so so la na cha de yo ba ha ko teni mi de ti mi ba ha ko na yin ke teni ta lama ge shi ni tam jin dun hyu ya bu chu de ta so so ke ran ju ndur zi ke ni bo yin ba de teni ha ko go yori son re.
And then he said in the middle, it is necessary to take the essential meaning from whatever the instructions of whichever one's tradition, to apply the pith instructions of one's own spiritual teacher, understanding appropriately what becomes the perfect antidote to the afflictive emotions, to the 3 poisons or 5 poisons. So taking the essence, whatever one practices, it should serve as the essential antidote to overcome one's particular obscurations or one's particular propensities. It should serve as the antidotal essence to the mind of self-clinging and ignorance. So, for instance, when one takes medicine, there are a lot of different medicines that are out there, but if one has a cold, then one wants to take the medicine that particularly addresses or works to heal or works as the antidote to heal from a cold. If one has a headache, one wants to take the medicine that specifically addresses a headache. And so in this way, also the spiritual teacher must know and understand which are the antidotal instructions that are particularly useful to those beings needing to be tamed.
Tani tama nyingcing gung de nyamsu long songri. Ta dambo chu de tuba je. Tuba de soso ke nyumongba gangda gang nyimbo yinba hakwa de la samba. Ta de jini ta ngus nyimbo tang panja labdu ta ti nyumongba de tan ti nyimbo gewa de ni Tani dong to ne musun chen ta nyam sin kunde song ta nyeng sin na ba kunde tani ta nyamni nangolri nyamni le hyokja gogori song re.
And then finally, one must practice in such a way as to continuously apply these instructions day and night. And so first one listens, one gathers understanding through the practice of listening or studying. And then one develops an understanding with regard to what the appropriate antidotes or what the particular antidotes are to the range of afflicted mind states or afflictive emotions. And then in practice, then one actually applies these antidotes in such a way, or one actually engages in the practice in such a way that one is able to abandon those afflicted mind states.
Tani da jibze malare ba ke kong loma tamjela sombare wa. Chiran ngene ke chu drop ting ba ina. Tani gonda pa nyarsa no drobo kapso yadang ko la gom. Tani yadang ko la nimba la so bas dango gri songre. Tani ta ti jitini tani soso ke tsavalama tuni ba de soso ke tsavalama la so ande tani tsavalama gom tanda chi gori song. Tani ta tun simba de la tani soso ke ta long la so batam ye gom ne ngarang so ta de long pimjin pimchong de zo gom ya mambo sung yore ta de la so ba gom ne te che ba ina tani long la so batan je u ma la chen do yond ran yin ke tani chu tam je tong ba tong sang yin ba tong zam je ran yin ma do ke ngu bu du ne drab de ba ma yin ba ta da ha go go yori ta da gong go yori so tani sho ba re du ta dagon sina sozoge nyamli nang yaba tamje la teni norwa tan trowa shoryu na teni lama ta lakpo la tamje la shakwa nang gugri song jitsi malare bak tan song do o ten de ta tama nimsin kun de nyamsu long so ya tso tonda jikba cha yang gore ten sina ngarang chu namjin san de on sina ni kong do go sin la ha de ni ku ya ke chake ji yin sang gore ta jirdang de ta ra ngarang chu me chin na ten da wo ji yong do ge de去下嘛这去养的话这他这个有把人呢等你期末得了样我就都说出来嘛这边的他就是没来把空能把个送把难易他能头个有把的是。
So also Jitsun Milarepa, as he instructed to his students, if one really thinks to practice the Dharma, if one really wishes to practice the Dharma, then at night before sleeping, one should meditate on one's own body as the enlightened form of the Yidam. And then secondly, one should visualize one's root guru at one's crown, and meditating on the root guru as such, one should supplicate him. And then one should practice bringing the winds onto the path through the practices of the vase breath, either the gentle vase breath or the great vase breath. And as such, then the winds will enter the central channel, and one will realize the empty nature of all phenomena. And as one transitions into the period of sleep, one will be able to maintain the view of clear light luminosity. And then in the morning, as one wakes up, then one should reflect upon one's practice throughout the night, And whatever errors or whatever way that one may have gone astray in one's practice, or whatever delusion that one may have given rise to, then one confesses. And so then this kind of practice, for instance, becomes really, like this final instruction of meditating day and night, or practicing day and night. So for us as ordinary beings, we might, or sort of regular people, we might think, yeah, but how are we supposed to practice at night? When we sleep, we just, kind of blank out and go to sleep. So how can we practice then? But for somebody who really is like a true, perfect Dharma practitioner, then even throughout the period of sleep, they continue to practice. They don't let any time go to waste. They don't waste their time through indulgent sleep. And so to really practice is to practice in this way, as it is explained by Milarepa.
Tangaranzo gypsum malarepa tang konabak sumba na yi tachi de ji lamsang ji toku mipa yin yang ta ji gonda desama nga zam nyar chuzu goba joba de salamanya hyoba chuzu yeba tang that mamta yeba tang aba tusola ya lang ne deni tun raw je zong nyamni raw je ngune da ne da na ta go ya de karchim bori da jirda nga raw kchurang sola tanda hyuna den kensan raw yore kains na da ngarang tenda nyamni nangki nyamni ji tungki ke tenda ke marwa de yin ya ngarang tenda samkyu de deni kale komne Churang gonda manya ya de chuzu goba da joba tanane manya dewa na chitang chuting ke chane chuzu goba joba ni kuya de ya pori la ndo joba da chukjik tanala teni ta chuzu yeba ne ya lang ne tambo be zor ji tu chu la so ba yo ne ke ja ju le chen kale kale kom ro de teni kom de ta par chuzu yeba zan ni se yong go ro ten chuzu yeba ne ya ni se na lamsang teni gom ja nyamni nang da jana hyoba hyogja thomare ke de ni nyamni pe chang sang pe pu ta bo cha garwa so so ram na so so chi bo de ni nyamni pe na ya la parche rawo tra che yong go mare te pe kar chim bo re sang ko yo
And so even if we're not able, to immediately practice in this way that Jitsen Milarepa suggests, still to limit our sleeping, or at least to develop good waking habits, sleeping and waking habits in such a way that, for instance, at night we go to sleep at like 9 or 10, and we wake up early in the morning at 4 or 5. And from the moment that we wake up early in the morning, then we start a session. We do a session of practice. This is really important. And so Khenpo says, it's sort of strange maybe for him to be giving us that advice, or this advice, if he himself sometimes doesn't practice in this way, but he thinks that this is the best way to do it. And it also is said, if you're going to wake up early in the morning, then it's important also to go to bed not too late, so like at 9 or 10. And this is actually the best for the body too, to have this pattern of sleeping at 9 or 10 and waking up early at 4 or 5. And so at first it's not easy, but if we really sort of push ourselves to wake up early like that, even though it's kind of difficult in the beginning, we'll get used to it. Little by little, we'll get used to it. And then eventually, actually, it just becomes a natural habit, so that even when you're not trying, you'll just naturally wake up at 4. And so also it's important that one does one's session of practice or meditation prior to eating breakfast. So if you wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and you go right into practice, the mind is particularly bright, and the system is kind of really clear, and so it's a really good time to practice without any obstacles arising. So this is actually really important to develop this habit of getting up early in the morning and immediately doing one's Dharma, a session of Dharma practice first thing before anything else. This is really important.
Tanita, di Jurang lo yung in the young, the ne lunga is some day, the Tanyam Tang Pimi, Ngalanjo Mayo, Sondangan and so on. The young lo yun chip, lo yumpo chipo, la damba chain sari, oh, Tanga, lo chimpo yin, Tenda yin Zantanga, keke, chu Maratuba, Mambo Jena, Pinto, Jayong Samare, Tenda in Simcho Chaya and all down Tenda in Gokuyo Maris.
So, in this, according to this instruction or this verse in the text, as it's kind of addressing those who are in kind of the prime of their youth, and the advice is to really use that youth well and to not let one's youth just get lost in senseless diversions or distraction and kind of indifference, or distraction and diversions. But if you're not in the prime of your youth and you think, oh, I'm really kind of old, and if I do a lot of Dharma now, then there's not much benefit, because it would have been much more beneficial to practice when I was young. So you shouldn't feel discouraged and thinking, and you shouldn't think such thoughts.
Sacha pintrata ksungari. Sacha pintrata. Kunge. Rikpa nangparan cheyang lap song yore. Tiga nandong karisina. Churang sani trong ruko yopo.
Rikpa yangchar song kumta.
Nandong tere. Rikpa nangpar.
Yeah, but they lungten.
Lungten tere da. Rikpa nangpar cheyang lap. Nandong kariri kyuba ina. Churang sani trong ruko yoba ina yang. Ta parke vena churang sani hyan ro yo ba yin yang terang jang go yoris tu sam ji go yoris song chen de la karsi ke ba ma jor ba yin yang jewa chma la ding ding pin to go re song re kong ge pe ga re ya yo re shu ba yin na churang ke per na chala ngupo perna sen tawen da ngupo chi yo ne ma yimba chi le jor ne nya ro chi lam ne te chorang sa cha yimba ka sa ka la lo ching ni sal pha chin sum ba yina ji ni yang char sa cha dal chal yong du te chala te chal lin chok yoris ti na yin ke phin tho yoris song re te nga cho le jum de ke chan sam no ta wa yina te ni ta soso ke le gang sak ba de lan de te ming ri hiro wa ten da yin za ta tu sam na je te lo che chong la ma tu ba ke te ni kar chim ba cha de yoris
So si rang la shiraya bokoma song rikpa nangbar che yang la
te ange ha ko san te nga kan no thori ti chik je de chon la mo nga ke chik je de kan ma chor na yang ngen de je yor wa de je de chi gen de je de jor gon de nge ta chik je te ta za chor so
Okay, that's all. So Sakya Pandita explained that whenever one engages in the activities of study and contemplation, whenever it is that one chooses to do so, it is the best time to do so. Because even if, for instance, one were to die tomorrow, if today one spends time engaged in study and contemplation, then that will not have been a wasted time. For whatever period, at whatever time, any activity that is spent or any time that is spent dedicated to these Dharma activities is time well spent and is not wasted. So even if in this life one doesn't become really knowledgeable or really learned, still it will be of great benefit in future lives. And so it's sort of like, for instance, if you leave a precious object with a friend or somebody, you ask somebody, you're going off to on some journey, and you leave some important objects or precious objects such as gold, for instance, with someone who you trust to look after it. And you say, please keep this for me while I'm gone. And then you go off to some other place. You travel on some journey. But that person is still holding on to that object for you. So even if you come back at some much later date, then you can come back and pick it up. You're able to get it again when you return. And so it is karma cause and effect is somewhat like this, in that, whatever karmic causes that are accrued or accumulated, then they are, those seeds remain, or those causes remain through whatever duration of time until their ripening occurs, or through until the conditions come together for the ripening. And so therefore we need not, there's no difference with regard to youth, or age in engaging in Dharma activities, whether we are young or old, it is equally as important.
Lo chechong ke rigpa chechong rigpa lamna lo chechong te labya mandawa pen tata jabjing garchen boche gonlo pe thompore gonlo chimpore yin yang khong ke tarong khong ke zik tubde pecha mambo zik do pecha zeine ngacho la chenang kundo o pecha de pe yapon do song na nga zo ke tima jik dana pecha de hyubi de yapon da chor tok mandok sem yanjar cha ya khon rumbo jik da song re yapo je de yanjar cha jik da yanjar ni da da jik de teni ngune ta ne ke de ta rumbo jik khon ba 다시 건 제 rumboche ke sungba na yin yonglok tamche dambar khar la ya de ngune insara samsan ro pe mesi barendo te ngarang su che lo chunchong yin be jimjing ke hyu ya bo ha go ga dang lo chimbo ga ha mo go ba tenda ngarang su samna nga chu non do no ma to ke ta so so nyam ni ta namju donang de lakpar to trowa yo patoni teni pecha la so banda la donang de ong ba ina teni lo chi chong che yo mare pecha ka nang dong ha ko yo re pecha ka nang dong ha ko du teni ta so be so so ge metsi na na yang teni ka nga dang ka cha mangbo la teni donlin chi ta ba dang teni me yin mangbo la phin tho ta ba tela so ba ke phin sam je ma cha pa yo ba re tendu ngarang chu chama ke je lo chimbo yin ti ne yang chu hira chula tonang mete batang yang na chi lapar de tara lama gebhini tamje nang sungchu tamje la tonang mete wa tana ning ke yomare katse thotho ke tonang te ni thomna teni pinto chimbo yore lapar de teni tso ke semla pakcha geba pakcha teng sapo enjoy yong ke yore tana inzang chama ke tana semla joro nans.
So it really isn't the case. Sometimes there is the thought or a tendency to think that, as one is young, one's faculties of the intellect are sharper, and as one gets older, they deteriorate. But actually, really, there's like equal potential for intelligence or, strong mental faculties in whether one is young or old. So even when one is older, there's still a great potential to gain great benefit through study. So for instance, Garchen Rinpoche, even though he's quite elderly at this point, he reads a lot of texts. He really looks at a lot of scriptures or a lot of texts, and he comments on them. He'll say, "Oh, this text is so wonderful. It's so good." And he doesn't even just to look at them once or read them once, but he'll read them again and again, and he'll comment on the profundity of their content. And so it really is just as Jay Rinpoche describes, and whether one is young or whether one is old, there's full potential there to benefit from the study of Dharma. And so there isn't any, one has the full potential to understand the inner meaning, whether regardless of age. It really comes down to interest, really. So if one has real interest in studying the Dharma or in the content of the Dharma, if one is really inspired and really enjoys and takes delight in her reading and studying or listening, then there's no difference with regard to age. One is able to develop qualities through that, or to gain knowledge and understanding, and also to bring about a great deal of benefit to others. And also, it's very important with regard to the instructions, from or teachings from one's spiritual teachers. One shouldn't sort of become less inspired as one gets older and think, oh, there's no real point in me really, striving to learn a lot now or to really practice a Dharma now. Instead, it's really important to maintain, even as one advances in age, one's sense of inspiration and interest in the teachings. And whatever it is that one hears, whatever one takes in, whatever one gains through the process of study or listening, then this, at the very least, creates positive karmic imprints. It creates the karmic imprints for virtue.
Yeah, that the into the pangpu chujo shibade drop tsar. That then gubu chujo tenim shuains gubu chujo.
So this then concludes the 10 great losses, or those 10 things which are a great loss to this rare human life. And then the second category then are the 10 necessary things.
That dinang ke tambo de rang potsu simpe juji yiza manchok ba hi gu song gu ba tambo de. Da think gare sungko yore shubayina. Then 강 소소게 배나 다다라 추랑 것돈 섬 담바이나 더니 센타 따웨 주바 송도 남지 디나 인게 된 소소게 담배 추드비알라 뽀바당 되니 소소게 담배 추라 추 냠리 지발라 되니 시랍당 되니 소소게 담배 추 냠리 지발라 차르게 때라 소바탄제 마축바제 고그리 손리
So the first of these 10 necessary things are, it is necessary to be disciplined oneself in order not to be deprived from one's own original and unique concepts by misled advice. So just to give us an alternative reading. So the first of these is a stable commitment to the practice of Dharma in general, and to continuing the specific format of practice you are doing until you finish it. So it seems then that the first one is really dealing with the aspect of commitment with regard to this haminda, or this kind of diligence. So to have a sense of confidence and real, like, inspired confidence, thinking that, or with a goal or intention in mind, sort of with a plan to really completely dedicate oneself to the practice of Dharma and to follow the practice through at all costs is the first of the necessary things.
Tandikapsa machukpa hinari manorpa gu sonde chitang Gampopa korang song yore chu yin de madum na chu jir lar ngin song don roba yore song re di nandong kare sina chu de yapo che chur yin de madaba yina yang cham chang arang so tan nang la chi chu ge wa hu drum de yo ba na yin che la dong ge yang ko wa dang nin song ge jor drum do wa tan da yong si ge yo re so re de ndun den di kap so manor pa chi go do gu re so sun ya ka nan dong te cha de yo re de ga re sin da per na chi chur cham la da che chu nyam ni la so ba mang bo che ge na ba do yu de ba la gang tar yang sem na lo de la jam ning je te ge ji ma jin ba yin na ge wa te teni ge wa yang da lan ro la gu na ka le kha po yo re te ndu manor pa te kare ri sina churang ke man char chi dang ba yin na ri gom karma chik le ja pa yin na ri chu ka chu la so ba karma nga le hie ba yin na ri ta manthar yangs ka chu ma hie ba gang la che su su la jang chou jo de sem ka cha sum cha zam la ji to ya dang di gom ma ja bu hong de ji jang chou sem la ke ji sin tap dang o de ni lu ge ton ne ji cha dang ko ra la su ba ji bu kap su ya ji jang chou ge sem rong ba je ge de ge ji sin ba je dan da je go yo re dan da je zhong ai na chu de ma na ba re den zang yin ma do yang cham chang arang zu je 소소 그 켄돈도 제는 케바 인돈도 시슈히데 데니 심주라 제 장초 그 심라야 되게 하람 저장야 마보 이바이나 데니 직진 취비에라고 창로로 텐테 차송에는 문에게 된 소소소소라 인송다 냐와라서 로사지 유바 히인데 데니 소소 되는 로야 금베서 제대반로 차노고 요로 된장 장조 그 셈 라야데 니퍼드 고 요리 손자 테니 다 장조 그 셈도 요 송아이나 되네 주랑 마축 바리 마너 바리 송냐
So then this section here where it says, so to be disciplined in such a way that also one is following or practicing the Dharma correctly without being misled by one's own kind of concepts or sort of mistaken views or mistaken understanding. And so Gampopa said, always explained that it was so important that one practice the Dharma according to the Dharma. That the Dharma progresses along the path. If one does not practice Dharma the way that Dharma is intended to be practiced, or according to the true Dharma, then there's danger of falling into the lower realms. And so even if one, it's possible that through a mistaken understanding or with a lack of a full awareness, one can seemingly be engaging in Dharma activities, or one can outwardly be practicing the Dharma, but in such a way, a mistaken way, that actually the Dharma itself it becomes the cause for taking or creating becomes a means for creating the causes for rebirth in the lower realms. And so it's so important to avoid this type of falling into the pitfall of this type of mistaken Dharma practice. And so the best way to ensure avoiding this pitfall of mistaken practice is through a complete commitment to generating the attitude of bodhicitta. So if there is not bodhicitta, if bodhicitta isn't present, then it is difficult, even if one is engaging in virtuous activities, without bodhicitta, it is unlikely that that virtue will be completely pure, that virtue is really becomes completely perfect virtue. And so for that reason, whatever Dharma activity, whether we recite a single mani mantra, whether we spend just a few moments in meditation, whether we're spending, only speaking, sharing Dharma or speaking Dharma for 5 minutes, it's so crucial that any time that we engage in these virtuous Dharma activities, that we do so having given rise to the supreme mind of bodhicitta. And that's why always at the outset of any time we engage in Dharma practice, any time we meditate, at the beginning, we generate a mind state of bodhicitta. We direct the mind in such a way that bodhicitta arises. And so likewise, any of the activities of the body, doing prostrations or circumambulations, all of these virtuous Dharma activities really necessitate the presence of bodhicitta. If one is careful to generate in all virtuous Dharma activities to generate the mind state of bodhicitta, then this ensures, complete that the karma that is, or Dharma that is being practiced or accumulated is completely pure. And so if that is, not the case, then no matter how learned one may be, sometimes if one may be really scholarly or learned and may enjoy really expounding on the details of Dharma, but one may do so without a mind of bodhicitta. And then in that case, then that Dharma, all of that Dharma teaching just becomes the nature of the 8 worldly concerns. And so for that reason, it's so absolutely crucial that we at all times make an effort to generate bodhicitta. If we have bodhicitta, then there is no danger of being mistaken or going astray.
Churang gegin je yin bawang de cheba ina. Tene churang la jamze janchuk sem de yoba ina. Churang ke lobjong de ke tene loma tamje la pin tok yore. Per na nga su nangka ke nyama andala yang wu yore. Kangbo nang ke lo de la yang wu yore. Yena yang wu yoba la jikba yinba la mandra sa de kawa yore shuba yina nangka ke nyama de la zhu yore wu de de nyam de la zhu yore de la tene sabye la pin tok yore tene kangba nang ke lo de la wu yore de zhu yomare de la tene de ke sabye de na tikare la goro zikhen la soba jia la pin tok la gona kale kapo yore wa Di na yinke soso la lobjong yoba ina re, soso la zok jelong da yoba ina re, yang na soso la jopanjer yoba ina re, yang na soso la top gosa yoba ina re, chorang la gang yoba de pe yabo res. Gang yoba de yabo yinpe jimtsin de chorang jewa ngama suna yabo sabwa la jewa ngama tang tata ke tsetu la suna yabo sabwa la dine ndewe yabo je topa res. Ona tenda chorang la gang yabo yoba tosoke ta yin la pin to go yoba ina tena chorang la simnang la tsewa je go yore. Jam ning je lakpar da jancho ke simro mo je go yore. Te yoba ina teni ta churang ke chi pin to go masan ba ina ko ranyin ke pin to ya ke chala je cha de yore jamze la ya de ro ko ranyin ke bi na pin to ya ke ngubo je cha de yore o te inde te da ngarang simjul go yore tel teni ninti we na teni lama ko ma na pare tata ke teni yar yo de ba ke ge hini na ba chama ke ninti we song do ya tel tel jumchin gu ba chimbo yo ne song ke yore te yang je je ke che zambel ne tang je ke cha ne te song yo ko yo ba ma ya ba churang la na re ngarang zo mere ngore ke mechina na mechina ka nima re ke mechina na Nima rere zama chuchu da karcha rere metsi nana teni teke pin toku yu ne song toku yu pare. Ta soso la chik tapche jitana karma chik la sem machi bachi dora. Ti jine karma chik la chanchok sem gom chik dora chona chik nyam yek jira. Ta soso la dewa kare ko hundo me dewa kare ko hundo teni rang choku doa. Tenda yin zang teni
Kong ta chema de yapo koma song karma chik la de jangsem gomna.
Karma chik la chanchok.
Nima re de de chutso kacha re de la hitsangma yamcha sangma.
Ta perna karma chik la chanchok sem gom ra. Ti jini karma chik la nge jing ten line karma chik la chorang chanchok sem gom. Teni chorang la te tapche chi chowa kanda do tikapsa. Ti ji tini karma chik la sem machi pa hui chi chik de ra. Semba soso semba machi pa chi dunga da kanga yo ba tse tsar kar hyo na chik de ra. Yang ti ji ni karma chik la soso la kanda chong son san na ta. Ta teni dirshep chi ra. Ta kare ke soso zubo la pinya soso ke semnang la dewa kare ke tren do. Teni ha kogora.
맞아. So even so, for instance, if one is a teacher, if one is a teacher with students learn from one's lessons, if as a teacher one has love and loving kindness, especially if one has bodhichitta, then one will really be able to benefit one's students. And there's the difference is that, for instance, there is the light that the sun gives off in the sky, and there's the light that from like an artificial lighting indoors. Both give off light, but only the sun generates warmth. And so that is like when one is sharing one's qualities with the world. So, for instance, the quality of knowledge or being learned, for instance, in this example of being a teacher, then one can share one's knowledge in such a way that there is some level of benefit. It is like both the sources of light, the sun and the indoor lighting, having light or generating or giving off light. But to be a real benefit, then this is like the penetrating warmth of the sun, and that is like that is the benefit, like the type of benefit that comes from having bodhicitta. If there is bodhicitta, then there is a really genuine and vast benefit that comes from just having this mind of bodhicitta. Then whatever qualities that one might have, whether one is really learned and has a great deal of knowledge through study, if one has, a strong and a kind of, strong and attractive form, if one has a great deal of wealth, material wealth and possessions, whatever sources of temporary happiness in this life, those are the result of positive actions in the past. It is due to the accumulation of merit, and we have created those causes in former lives, and now one experiences the favorable ripening or fruition of those karmic seeds. And so through whatever one's qualities or fortunate karmic situation in life, one can benefit others, can really only benefit others through the ripening of such fortunate states or situations, as a result of merit, if one has love. If one has loving kindness, and especially if one has bodhicitta, then there's real power to benefit. Without that, then it's quite difficult, or it's unlikely that we will really benefit others. And so this is why it's so, there are the lamas, the great masters of the past, and all of the great spiritual teachers always emphasize the importance of generating the altruistic attitude, the mind of love and compassion and bodhicitta, because it really is for a good reason. And so if we continuously reflect upon the importance of generating such a supreme mind state, then every moment of every day in which we do so is rendered truly meaningful and truly beneficial. And we can directly understand that benefit merely by examining or investigating our own experience. So for instance, if we spend 1 minute generating or meditating on bodhicitta, and then if we spend the next minute investigating the immediate result of having meditated on bodhicitta, if we look at the state of our mind, if we examine the state of our mind, if we examine the physical sensation, then immediately we will see the beneficial result, the pleasant state that has arisen, and the happiness that arises as a result of doing so. On the other hand, then if we spend a moment, drudging up a really unpleasant state of mind, an unhappy or negative mind state, where, we really feel a sense of kind of negativity or difficulty or hardship. And then if we look in the next moment, we really analyze or investigate, what is the direct product of having generated such an uncomfortable mind state? Is it of benefit or is it not of benefit? Does it make us happy or does it make us unhappy? And so if we examine in such a way, then the benefits of bodhicitta are just undeniable.
Jamze gogri la hien do ya te chi chulok je ke hie tang rabo ji ne hie ke yo mare te ngaran so ke metse ke nyam nyong na na go do ge yore pe na churang ke che tan hiemat so la khala te ta par jam jong ji di koron so le churang go do wa Churang che ta hime la so ba tam je ke churang thong du teni koran so ga nang ji chowa be ga nang ji na tan chi do te jumsin kar churang la sam jam se ke top shuk ne ba te yo ne te koran so la ran thu no ko yo ro churang namjin je te so la jamze la so ba ma je ta chong ma je ma shi ina churang kanda mo thombo ye kanda yin lam na yang te ni him te che la so ba te ni rat yong ma churang zal te kare re ho ta churang ke jamze chi ke yo ma re kanda te o ti jimsin re ta nga su jamze la ya jam ning je la ya te ni ri so ne ha go yong ge yore go yore tena insang teni nga choke tonhang te ma ri ma do ke na
So why is it so necessary to have loving kindness? It's not just, it isn't just like, this isn't saying that it's so important to develop loving kindness and so forth. This is not just religious talk. This is not just advice that is specific to our religion. It really is very practical, and it is can be understood on a very practical level with regard to our own experience in our life. So, for instance, if we treat our like pets or animals like dogs and like a dog or a cat with an attitude of loving kindness, and we pay attention to them and we pet them and we're kind to them and we always give them food, at the time that they need to eat food and so forth. Then the dog and the cat really respond to that, and they show their owner, or they show one love in response, and they have, they're always happy when they see you. The dog or the cat expresses happiness when they see such an individual. So why is that? That is because of the power of loving kindness. On the other hand, if you don't have a loving kindness and you just neglect them and sort of ignore them and don't feed them on time and so forth, and you don't treat them very well, then even if you're a really important person, the cat and the dog will, kind of run away from such a person. They won't be interested in coming near that individual. They won't show kind of a loving response in return to that individual. Why is that? Because of the absence of loving kindness. And so it's important on this is why it is a benefit to us in our life to generate, to take care, to cultivate and protect the cultivation of loving kindness. So we can take a break here and resume at 11 o'clock in Arizona time, and then 2 o'clock on the East Coast.
Pama simje damje dedan danger jengendo damje dada tomar chanjo zamba ganda zarjo ba deda gunje molande ba jo nyambe ba jedar jamba dang kunda zamba de an dejen Dedai kunje jizo dalo je gewan deda damje rabdo ngo